Perfect. Okay, boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this afternoon. We have a magnificent guest with us today, one who is going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than our brother, Student Minister Sharrieff. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Islam, sir.
Yes, sir. This means a lot to ourselves, family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast that you would take time out of your busy schedule to come have a conversation with us on the anniversary of the Million Man March. First of all, once again, assalamu alaikum.
Islam.
And people are showing love already. Excellent. Mimi says, Mimi. Thank you all for watching. The first question that we have, sir, is can you take us back 28 years ago to the climate leading up to the Million Man March?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jake and Josh, for allowing me to come on the show. Thank you to the listeners, Mimi and Naeem. Thank y'all. Yes, the climate was, it was amazing. Just to be able to be an honorable Muslim Farrakhan present, first of all.
Yes, sir.
I just want to say that. And I want to say that the spirit of the Million Man March, brother Pinchave used to say, long live the spirit of the Million Man March.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
to see that spirit and felt it yesterday again, the spirit of the Million Man March. And what led up to it is Don Blues Farrakhan speaking it and Allah making his word and to be, by God's permission, for Don Blues Farrakhan to send me in to Washington, D.C. 6 months in advance to make sure that the Million Man March and is successful, and to get all the brothers and thank Allah for the mighty fruit of Islam, the FOI, being on the ground all over this country. And the sisters played a very important part. But leading up, it was the brothers that was on the ground and came into DC, came into Washington from all over the East Coast. And early on, every week, going door to door, passing those flyers out, touching hands with our people to tell them that Donald Blues Farrakhan wanted them, men, to come to the mall for the Million Man March. And remember now, Josh, during this time now, we didn't have no Facebook and Instagram and Yogram and all that. We didn't have none of that.
Yes, sir.
That's how you know Allah's God, and he's with the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. Because in spite of all that, no major newspaper, none of them at first coming on board. It was just the Honorable Louis Farrakhan going around this country and the FOI in the streets and the sisters on the phones getting the word out. That's how, when you really look back 28 years, you know it's a miracle for real.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, and God bless his servant and his people to make the Million Man March what it was and what it is. Thank you a lot for that.
Oh, praise to yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, everyone who's watching all around the world. We can't wait to upload this to YouTube as well. My next question for you, sir, is the men's only meetings. As someone who was responsible for the protection and security of not only the minister, but the men, were you nervous to see all of these? Like, y'all back in Jacob Javits Center, y'all back in 30,000 here, 40,000 here. Were you nervous about getting all these Black men in one place together, different gangs, different, sets, all just kind of different personalities leading up to the Million Man March? Were you nervous about no men, like the men trying to fight and things of this nature?
No, sir, not one time. Because the Honorable Louis Farrakhan has taught us early on for the OGs. He taught us, fear no one but Allah.
Yes, sir.
You can't ever forget that. And I'm telling you, when you have a conviction, as I do for the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, whatever the Honorable Louis Farrakhan said back then, all I need to hear the word. And we went to work And God was always with Donald Blues Farrakhan and those that's with him. So when he called and we went to Jefferson Center and all these centers where we went with nothing but men coming out, man, the spirit of God was there. So it settled everybody down. So we know I never worried about it. None of that. Because I know Allah was with us. That's a fact.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Thank you everyone who's watching. That brother Prince Cedric says from Chicago, says Assalamu alaikum wa salam. And Mimi says, thank you for your consistent service and hard work for your nation. Praise be to Allah. Okay, excellent. My next question is Marion Barry. What was his role in assisting you all on the Million Man March, and how did DC welcome you all when you came 6 months in advance and leading up to the Million Man March?
Look, Don Blues Farrakhan did the groundwork. So when we got ready to go into Washington, he already met with Marion Barry and his staff, and all of them was prepared. They all came on board. So, like the minister said, Don Blues Farrakhan said, if it wasn't for Marion Barry opening up the city, we would have had problems. But Marion Barry opened up the whole city, put his staff with the minister's staff. And that's how Marion Barry and Washington, D.C. received the minister and us with open arms. And we went to work. I'm talking about now, it was work, but I loved every bit of it. And the minister was pleased with it. And Marion Barry, like I say, I always respect him because he loved Donald Blues Farrakhan and Marion Barry White.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's how it is. That's how it was. That's how it is.
Beautiful. Yes, sir. And what about, you spoke earlier about the women's role in the Million Man March. What was the women's role inside the nation as well as outside the nation with helping the Million Man March become successful?
Well, inside the nation, you know, the sisters weren't gonna let us do all this work by ourselves. Man, they went to work, they manned the phones. Someone went out and passed out flyers at the beauty shop and hair salon, all that. The sisters went to work too. And they went on the radios and some of the sisters were speaking. I mean, they went to work and they helped us. And they helped us in a great way. And then Sister Diantha Heights, she's gone now, but she opened her office up, had all her organization come on board with the minister, and they went to work. The sister played a major part. And I thank a lot for that.
Beautiful. All praise due to Allah. Yes, sir. And thank you everyone who's watching again. I can't wait to put this on all of the platforms. My next question for you, sir, is the 6 months in advance, you're meeting with a lot of the military and the Capitol Police and regular police and things of this nature. Were you nervous then that an incident would happen externally, maybe like from people acting a fool on the mall, or we weren't nervous about people actually trying to assassinate the minister to make the event not successful?
Well, as far as the people coming to the mall, all the prayers was gone, the minister prayed and all the prayers was out. I felt good about that part. What we're a little nervous about is somebody trying to do something to the Blues Farrakhan. That's where my nervousness came in. But I knew Allah had him, but they say, tie your camel as well as pray.
That's right.
So I couldn't really rest until we got the minister back to the hotel after him speaking and settled in. Then I was able to breathe a little bit. Until then, I was conscious all the time, wanting to make sure that Allah bless us and get the minister in safe and get him out safe. Because I know the enemies didn't really want him to deliver that message, but God, Allah, had him. So that's the only time I was a little nervous getting him in and out. But other than that, that spirit of the Million Man March overwhelmed all nervousness. So I was cautious.
Yes, sir. Excellent. Praise
Thank
be
you a
to
lot for
Allah.
that.
Now that the minister, y'all come down Capitol Mall steps, is bulletproof glass and things of this nature, setting all of this up, the minister's entrance and exit. And of course, the famous quote, the minister always brings you on stage to ask you about, the minister saying if something happens, he wants to go down and fight with his people. You're the Supreme Captain at the time, and your responsibility is to get the minister out, but he's saying he wants to fight. Did you ever have to wrestle with that in your mind?
No, I've learned a long time ago by being with Donald Farrakhan. Once he says something, that's it. I just got to make that happen. So when he said he's going down with his people, if something break down, that's where we was going. Because see, first of all, I always, and I still to this very day, matter of fact, I know Allah's with him. So I'm with him. If Allah's with him, then if I'm with him, Allah's with me.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
we going down with our people by the grace of God.
Beautiful. Excellent. Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. And that Sister Randy Dad Muhammad out of Arizona says, ASA, beautiful young nephew, love your work. Yes, ma'am, love you more. And Brother Cedric says, all of us, sir, with the exclamation mark. Excellent.
Praise.
Yes, sir. I wanted to speak about, we often speak about the Million Man March and its impact back then, but 28 years later, you see people trending about atonement and things of this nature. That was atonement was one of the 8 steps and one of the main principles of the Million Man March. Is that still important for us to want to, atone 28 years later?
Of course, it's very necessary. But before I go any further with that, Brother Josh, I want to say that I've been watching and I've been listening all around and Facebook and all that. I have not heard anybody say the establishment, explain the establishment of the Holy Day of Atonement. They always say the Million Man March and the Holy Day of Atonement. But no, the Holy Day of Atonement was established. And what I mean is that the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, Reverend Willie Wilson, Bishop Stalin, and a host of pastors, the minister led them and us to the chapel at Howard University and declared October 16th a holy day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
By a black man. The minister made it very clear. We don't need nobody else to establish our holy day. So he said, the day we praying and we establishing the holy day, this day forward. A black man, all our little young children in kindergarten, the unborn babies, all of us need to know that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We don't need no white man to establish our holy day on. No, a black man by the name of Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and his delegation established a holy day for us. And right now, spreading all across this country, just a few days ago, the city council in Birmingham, Alabama, declared one day a holiday for the for the Million Man March. And it's those things like this all over. We just don't know anything about them yet. So the minister is God's man. He's the mouthpiece of Allah in our midst. That's a fact.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I want everybody to know that. That's how confident I am in the God that I serve.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. I'm excited.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Excuse me.
And people showing love all across the country, saying Allah Akbar. That's right. Yes, sir. Okay, so my next question is, you spoke about Reverend Willie Wilson and the delegation, and you had Reverend Bevel, all the people different. How important was the pastors and the preachers to assisting you all in the Million Man March, with the Million Man March?
It was very important all over this country because a lot of the pastors opened up their doors to their church as the minister made his tour in that last 2 years. They opened up their church doors and allowed the minister to come in and speak to the Million Man March on behalf of the Million Man March. I'll never forget in Houston, Brother Haleen, the student minister out there in Houston, that was one of the largest crowds we had.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, good God Almighty. Now that was a little surprise to me.
Okay.
When we went to Houston, man, brother, to see all those men in church packed up in the overflow, the church packed up and all the men outside down the street. I'm talking about this is in the making of the Million Man March. They love the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. Remember now, no Twitter, no Facebook, no Instagram.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I'm telling you, man, just to see all those black men all over the country come out to hear. Not a man singing those songs, but speaking the word from God. It was just, it was a beautiful spirit and feeling to see that. Praise be to Allah.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. Long live the spirit of the Million Man March. Speaking of that day, I've rewatched it multiple times, and Evander Holyfield was there. A lot of the rappers were there in Houston and things of this nature. How important was the support of different celebrities and or athletes or whoever to assisting you all, with the nation? With the Million Man March.
That was very important because Don Louis Farrakhan had his hands open for every black man, didn't care who you were, to come and be a part of this. So the more they started hearing what the minister was doing, they started coming aboard and being a part of it. Because inside each one of them is God. And they know God's voice when they hear it. That's why with the Million Man March, a lot of people told their men not to come to the Million Man March. But the scripture said, my sheep know my voice.
That's right.
God Almighty. Let me say that again. The scriptures say, my sheep know my voice.
Yes, sir.
See, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, oh, that's God's man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And all the brothers all over this country heard God's voice through the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. And the minister asked for 1 million, but Allah God blessed with over 2. That's how you know that's God's man. A miracle, one of the biggest miracles in the world, was the Million Man March. This is me talking on this part.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The Million Man March. See, because I don't know no other man made a call and 2 million men showed up. Nowhere.
Yes, sir.
God's man, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Praise be to Allah. And thank you, everyone who's watching and showing love all around the world. I wanted to ask you about it being on a Monday. Were you nervous that the fact that the minister called it on a Monday and now he's saying, pay your own way? It's on a Monday and the cameras are going to be looking, so you can't, take off and say you wasn't, like you were sick or something. You saying, no, I'm taking off for a holy day. Were you nervous that a million black men were going to do this?
No, I'm telling you, it may sound strange to some of them. I'll say it again. You asked the question.
Mm-hmm.
My faith in the Master Farrakhan and my faith in Honorable Louis Farrakhan word. See, when we went around and I saw all those men coming out everywhere, the minister was, what? Man, I had no doubt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I had no doubt that they were going to show up. And then the minister was so bold. He said, and you're going to pay your own way.
Yes, sir.
That's my man. That's God's man all the way. And when they had the meeting at the palace with the civil rights leaders, and all of them saying, no, Brother Farrakhan, you can't have no meeting, no march on no Monday. We have march on the weekend. And I'm sitting there watching the minister. The minister very kind, courteous. He let them finish. He said, this march is going to be on Monday. Mm-hmm. I said, my man. Mm-hmm. And we went to work. And you saw what happened. But I wasn't nervous. Because I had faith in the God that anyone would not. I have never seen a minister ask for something that God didn't deliver. That's it. Praise be to him.
Beautiful. Yes, sir. I pray that to Allah that we get a triple portion of that spirit, especially during this time period. We see a lot of, sister reached out to me, I told you before we went live, and she was speaking of that spirit. She's raised, she has sons and nephews, and she wants to know, how can we get that spirit of the strong men, the FOY, to be taught to her children in the next generation of, just faithful men?
Well, I would say to her, keep bringing them. Do you know what station?
I can't say that.
Okay. I would say, keep bringing them to the FOI class. Don't give up. Bring them to the FOI class. And that's how you get that spirit back. We have to make it. But you can't do it on the sideline. You got to get in the mix. And we can make God's, because the FOI class is designed to make God's children move high God.
All praises to Allah. Yes, sir. With that, speaking of that, I was speaking with Miriam and Aima about the drill competition, and during that time period, all of the cadences, everybody said, we headed to DC, Million Man March. How important was it when you look back at the drill competition? You're always in the audience. Do you miss drill competitions in the 90s, and how important was that to keeping the spirit and the morale of the men and women? Yeah, I missed the drill competition because we only really do it once a year now. Yes, but we used to do it all through the year. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that's good because it's the militancy that you bring out the complicity in the young men and the women. So the drill competition is very important to keep it going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I do miss it. But they drill, they practice. Matter of fact, they already started practicing now. Watch out, Shaka, we coming. Oh, we coming. We coming. By the grace of God. Houston.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Excellent. Okay, now I want to go back. Let's go back. The Limo March, 1995. Let's go back to the 80s with Jesse Jackson running for president. And now you were living in Washington, D.C. What was that like? You being Captain William at the time, and the minister saying, we want to support a black man running for president before Obama, and it's Jesse Jackson, and he wants the FOI to do security for him, and the minister is traveling, speaking on his behalf. What was that like?
Man, that was very exciting because a lot of people started coming out because of, Jesse, and they heard that the minister was supporting Reverend Jackson. So it was a great time during that time. We were fired up and the minister was speaking, so we really was recruiting at the same time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it was a good time, man. And that's why the enemy didn't really want that. That's why he didn't stop. He broke that up, but he didn't hurt the minister. No, he didn't hurt the nation of Islam. We kept going. Kept going by that incident.
Beautiful. All praises to Allah. And thank you everyone for your comments and your questions. Shout out to our YouTube family as well, Brother Musa, Sister Auntie, Brother Kente. People just show you love on YouTube as well consistently. And thank you everyone who's watching on Facebook Live as we speak. I wanted to ask you about, because all of the times that you can look on YouTube and see the minister doing press conferences. So then after the run for Jesse Jackson, run for president, there was also the minister making the announcement. Most Elijah Muhammad is physically alive. It's on YouTube. And that he's backed by him and that he got it from the will. You hear the minister say this publicly. You're on stage along with Mustafa, Dr. Khalid, all of these people, and y'all on post. The minister is making this announcement to the world. How did you feel at that time?
I felt confident because I already know he was alive. See, I know Muhammad is alive. And the reason why I'm so confident that he's alive may be spooky to everybody else, but I was in when the minister got the palace.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Back in the day, brother Akil, my twin. The day the minister got the palace, we was in Chicago at the minister residence on Damon because we was doing some work there. And when the minister that afternoon, he told us he had retrieved the palace, but he needed security in the palace. Brother Akil and I, we volunteered. We'll go because we was in town. We'll stay there. So we stayed in the palace that night for security because we got some threats. They wanted to burn it down. So we stayed there that night. Brother Akil was on the first floor and I was on the second floor. And late that night, God is my witness.
Yes, sir.
I woke up, I heard something shook me, and there's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad standing right there at the foot of the bed. I was scared to death. I don't know, he was big. What I know I was standing. I saw it. I jumped up out that bed and ran downstairs and told Akil, don't be like Muhammad upstairs. I just saw Akil was laughing at me because he said I was scared. But from that day, I knew, and I still know he is physically alive. I don't care what nobody else say. So that's why when the minister made the announcement, man, it was like, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Bring it on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that's how I felt. Still feel that way.
Beautiful.
By the grace of God.
All praises to Allah. Now that you speak, they were people making death threats or threats to burn the palace down at the time. So if they're going to burn the palace down, you and Brother Akil sleeping inside the palace. Y'all don't care about getting set on fire?
No, we had brothers outside.
Okay. I'm about to say, we got to know what kind of strategy we got to look up.
We had some brothers outside.
Okay, good. Just making sure. I didn't know what was going on. Y'all just moving off faith. Okay, yes, sir. I also wanted to speak about limousines. You buying, help organizing, raising money for the nation. Those pictures are down stairs in your home of raising the money to get the minister limousines. Why was that important for you? And how did the minister feel when you were able to, purchase a limousine for the minister?
Because the minister had a limousine, but it was an older limousine. And then he had the limousine, he was getting it prepared at that early on, and then they took a while to get it fixed. And when we got it checked, they had bugs all in the limousine. I mean, you wouldn't believe how many bugs they had in the limousine. And it was an older limousine. So I said, no, man, the minister deserved the best. Still feel that way. So we rallied the troops, got with the soldiers, man. Look, we're going to get the minister a brand new limousine. And the brothers were so fired up because we want our leader to have the best.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And the brothers ready to work. And we bought our leader, teacher and guy, a brand new limousine. He was surprised. And we got it for him because we want him. He deserved the best.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's right.
Beautiful. Yes, sir. Excellent. All praises to Allah. And then speaking of you raising money, that spirit that you've had, even, from being a captain to the Supreme Captain, now minister, in the South, regional minister, the raising money, that's something that's not everybody's gift. What is it about you that you are so passionate about, helping the minister get, finances to, fund the nation and, to, number two, look out for his family and things of that nature?
Because it takes money to do everything you get done. So, but you have to love the person, or you got to love your nation to want to see your nation make progress. And it takes money to fuel it. So then you have to have a spirit to ask Black people for money. And they'll give. So God, that's just one little gift I have. God bless me with. It ain't nothing too good for my nation. To this very moment, I praise God.
Beautiful. All praises to Allah. Yes, sir. And thank you to people who are watching all around the world. Shout out to everybody who loves and supports the People's Podcast. We appreciate all of the support and everyone who supports Minister Sharrieff as well. My next question for you, Dad, is so after the men's only, then the minister went on tour and then women's only. What was that like for you to now, y'all, holding posts, but let the sisters stand, honor guard and stand for the minister with all these women, around the country? What was that like?
Well, it was a great time. But let me tell you how it started. It started with the Million Man March. The minister going around speaking to all men. And when he came to Atlanta, at the Omni, men on, there was a sister dressed up like a man because she wanted to get in. So she came, and when she got to the checkpoint, the brother so she wasn't allowed to come in. So after the meeting, he told the minister about the sister dressed up wanted to get in. And Minister sent for him. We brought her in and talked to them. She spoke to the minister. And she said, why you don't speak to women on? That's how that came about. And the minister said, okay. And we went, and that's when we went on Women Only. And it was a very enjoyable trip because the sisters came out just like the brothers.
Beautiful.
And we watched. Thank a lot for that.
Okay, yes, sir. People were showing love, and I was reading the comments. Right now, just the right decision. The insight. That's one my father thought. Okay, yes, sir. So, Dad, this brother says ASA family. His father thought he was too young as a junior FOI to go to the Million Man March, like to bring his son to the Million Man March. And he said, he knows the same happened with you, like not, make sure that I couldn't go to the Million Man March. He was saying, do you regret that decision now?
Do I regret this
decision to not like telling the children, the junior FOI to come to the Million Man March?
No, I don't regret it because we had to be prepared for anything. And we can't be worried about our children if something broke out with all those men. So, do I regret it? No. Matter of fact, hell to the no.
Yes, sir. Now, Mommy said, so Sharrieff said that she was at the Million Man March. Her sister Aisha, other sisters to help, deal with the women dignitaries and things of that nature. Were you ever nervous for your wife in the vanguard that was on post to the Million Man March?
Not one time. No, not one time. Because I know God had the sisters back, and they was trained to deal with whatever. So I focused totally on the minister. Now, after all was over with, you asked the question early on, was I worried about your mama being there? No, I never worried about that. No, just being honest. I never worried about none of the sisters, those that did come. That spirit, that God's spirit was over. It was a common spirit. So nobody had no problem. So I wasn't worried about that.
All praises to Allah. Yes, sir. And thank you all who are watching all around the world. We have a quick 60-second commercial break for all of the sponsors of the People's Podcast. If you would like to be a donor, please cash out the People's Podcast. And 1 second there. Hold on. We just want to share the screen. Thank you to everyone who continues to show love to the People's Podcast and watch on a consistent basis. We appreciate every like, share, and subscription. Of course. All right. 1 second. There we go.
Television and film editing. Please reach out to him if you need any of those services. Sister Miriam's ABC I Love Me, children's book and coloring book, and now Spanish book. All 3 available on Amazon.com. Sister Naima's Stay on Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country, right here in the studios of Atlanta, Georgia. Robert L. Muhammad's conflict mediation, squashing the beast throughout the Southwest region. He does a phenomenal job. His wife, Sister Fudia Muhammad's, giving birth to a god and the science of child rearing. Please make sure you go out and get a copy of her book as well. Chemistry 6 episode, a new television series out on YouTube. He's looking for actors and writers. Make sure you support him. Keep It Hood, helping others overcome depression. Also by Taj Hollywood. Brother Aaron's Elevated Places, stress management, real estate, credit, repair, and restoration. His Respect for Life Center. They do personal wellness, philosophy, emotional, and mental spiritual wellness. 229-344-1474. Dr. Henry Carter's King Henry Turkey Legs, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Rashad Muhammad's COVID-19 Disinfected Cleaning Services, out of Chicago. Student Minister Sharrieff Muhammad's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, available on adulsharif.com. And lastly, Brother Joshua Muhammad's book, Cleopatra, as well as No Father, No Excuse, both available on Amazon. Television and...
Perfect. Thank you all for watching. And we have one more, Sister Sharrieff Muhammad, Asiatic Minds. We thank you very much, Sister Sharrieff, for always showing love. Here we go. If you all have children and want them to learn virtually, please send your children, enroll your children into AsiaticMinds.com. She teaches STEM virtually to young kings and queens all around the world. Thank you very much. All right, right back with Minister Sharrieff. I have a question about about Brother Ronald from Chicago. His grandson went to MUI with me, and he posted a lot of pictures of Ronald, with the E-team, older brother Ronald, the other day. And I was like, he's very quiet and moves, doesn't really say too much. What was it like working with him, somebody who had been with the minister since Boston and things of that nature?
Look, it's been an honor to work with Brother Ronald. Brother Ronald seems to be very quiet, but he's a smooth operator.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I want to tell his grandson, your grandfather's smooth operator. Brother Ronald is very dear to the Honorable Farrakhan and the E-team and the Nation of Islam. And I'm going to leave it right there. My mistake.
Yes, sir. Excellent. All praises due to Allah. I wanted to ask you, okay, boom, and people are bearing witness saying all praises due to Allah. Yes, sir. Okay, I wanted to ask you about yesterday at the mosque. Everybody's talking about, packing the place 28 years later, the Million Man March. What do you think your grandson, Maz, and the other young men who weren't at the Million Man March should know about the Million Man March, like for somebody who was there?
I think their parents should sit them down and let them watch the Million Man March and then explain to them what took place. And my grandson, Mars, and all that, after they explain to him, let them come and talk to his granddad. I can talk to him. My grandfather, Mars. That's right.
Yes, sir. Excellent. Brother Concedric says, fact, this is the most Brother Concedric has ever commented in people's podcast. I can tell he loves you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Also, speaking of that, Brother Concedric, we wanted to give a special shout out to you. My sister Naima played the violin, and we really thought she was going to go to Juilliard or something when she was like in middle school. That was very passionate of hers. And when my father was no longer the supreme captain, Brother Concedric came and did security for you, Dad. I don't remember that. At Naima's recital, he did security for you and showed up and was on post for you. And I was just like, man, my dad ain't supreme captain, Brother Concedric, still out here on post. So that means a lot to me, Brother Concedric, and it means a lot to our family that you held it down.
And it means a lot to me, Brother Concedric. You know I love him. He's always been nothing but a real, true brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Love you, Brother Concedric. Never forget you. Grace of God.
All praises due to Allah. Now, Dad, speaking of Brother Concedric and the other lieutenants of the 90s, one of the things that you said once I started going to your meetings in Atlanta was Black people don't like to meet. Right. In order to be successful, we got to meet. What was the meeting schedule like in the 90s, dealing with the lieutenants, trying to organize everybody for the Million Man March?
the lieutenants used to see me coming. They used to say, "Oh, here come Mr. Meeting."
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because you can't be successful in nothing that you do if you don't meet and organize. So I know that, and so we have to meet, plan. And the Honorable Louis Farrakhan always told us to be supremely organized. And so I try to, whatever I do, I try to become supremely organized in it. And you cannot be supremely organized without meeting. And black people, most black people don't like to meet. So you kind of have to encourage them, force them, whatever. We have to meet if you're going to be successful.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Basically.
Right. So wonderful. And that people are showing love all around the world. Dr. Carter says, Brother Henry from here, Dr. Henry M. Carter says, ASA, I stood post on the edge of the stage for 12 hours. It was a peek into heaven. All praises to Allah. Zachary says, all praises to Allah. Allah, thank you all with the history of the Million Man March. That one of the questions I often ask the guests is, when I ask them the Million Man March question, do you think that we will ever have something like that again? Because people like me, Shad, Maz, grandchildren, brother-in-law, everybody who missed it, we didn't get to come down the stairs and salute and drill and see the minister and meet the press and all of that, you know what I'm saying? Would you think we'll see something like that again where we can capture that spirit, or is it just once in a lifetime and we just missed out?
I really can't say, because you never know what the future might bring.
Yes, sir.
You never know what Honorable Louis Farrakhan might say. So I would say, God bless the future.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Minister Jamil, aka Trip, says Assalamu alaikum, is world's greatest brother-in-law and a great trainer of men.
Jamil.
Yes, sir.
Love you, man.
Mimi says she's one thing about Brother Sharrieff. He's going to have meetings. He's going to have meetings. He asked me, absolutely.
Thank you, Mimi.
And that speaking of Minister Jamil, that did Million Man March. He's doing the Green Wave. He's speaking things like that. What was it like working with Minister? We know him as affectionately Uncle Chip, and we didn't see him in that light. We saw him as like the cool uncle who was putting us on the music and being very nice. But what was it like to see him in his element during that time, helping the minister and helping you all with the Million Man March?
Well, I want to say it from the beginning. Brother Jamil, before we came out, brother, he was intimate in part of helping me come into the nation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I want to say it again, brother Jamil and Marvin. Jim, you thought I forgot about Marvin? No, they was like twins back in the day.
Okay.
And they refused to let me go. I'm talking about they came to my store at that time every day. When I used to have to hide when I saw them coming. They didn't give me. So I want to thank you, Jamil. I'm going to give you a number of love because it was Brother Jamil who kept coming after me. Because back in those days, I was hustling and I was ready to just contribute. But Jamil didn't give up on me. He came, and that's why I say to the mighty fruit that is the best, the FOI. When you go fishing, don't give up on your fish. You never know what the future going to bring. Thank you, Jamil. Love you, man.
All praises to Allah. Yes, sir. Beautiful. Shout out to Uncle Minister Jamil. All right. Yes, sir. All right. Today, I also wanted to ask you about, okay. Thank you. Oh, speaking of family members, we wanted to discuss we wanted to get the history of your bloodline for the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, and even for your children who may not know your brothers, sisters, aunts, and things of that nature. Can you let us know your parents' name, your grandparents' name, and your siblings so that we can always have it on record who everybody is?
Okay. Oldest brother name is Robert Johnson.
Okay.
Next brother is Rufus Clarence Johnson.
Okay.
And Edward Johnson.
Okay.
I have sisters that I know.
Okay, yes, sir.
All right. And my father's name is Ephraim Johnson. Mother's name is Evelyn Johnson. And I don't quite understand why they named me, because my name was William Ephraim Johnson. And then when I looked it up in the book, in the Bible, especially Sister Minister told us about the 10,000 fearless, I looked in the book and it's written in there, Ephraim Johnson, the head of 10,000 men. So you go read the Bible, and I don't know how ministers why I don't know what that means, but that's in there. So anyway, that's granddaddy name was John Noble. Grandmother name was pearl note,
Mm,
and that's the lineage of my family. And they are land barons down in Brunswick, Georgia. I come from a family that got plenty of land. When the minister, through Brother Ishmael, was speaking yesterday about land and farming land, well, son, you hang on in there. We've got plenty of land. We got to go, just go plant, and get the farm going.
Yes, sir. Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank
Yes, sir. Excellent. And thank you, Dad, for this great history about the Million Man March, about your family, and about really, my focus is getting the young people who don't know, but who want to become supremely organized in planning marches and planning events for their ministers, for their family. What advice would you give to the men, primarily the younger brothers, who want to organize events as far as making it successful?
Well, what I would say, you have to have meetings. You have to meet, and do not give up if you run into an obstacle. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan has taught all of us that struggle is ordained by God. So we're going to have to struggle in having meetings and trying to be successful, but do not give up. That's why you ought to get my book, Down is Not Out.
Yes, sir.
But preparation for up. So I just thought I'd slide that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And speaking of that, shout out, it was a brother who tagged me on Facebook about 2 weeks ago saying that he got your book, Down is Not Out. A lot of people, we were very young and hearing different stories. Naima said she cried reading your book, and people call me all around, from all around the country, asking me about your book. How was that therapeutic for you to tell your story and, be vulnerable and say, the things that you've been going through in life to keep going?
Yes, sir, because I did it because I wanted whoever read my book to be inspired and motivated, letting them know that Islam is real. And no matter what you go through, don't you punk out. Say like Don Blues Farrakhan told me, keep doing good. Remember that.
Oh, praise due to Allah. Yes, sir. And people in the comments saying, Assalamu alaikum from Oakland. Boom. Okay, that Dr. Carter, Brother Henry, says, who would you like to play you when a movie is made about the Million Man March?
None other than my son, Joshua.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. Beautiful. And great question, Dr. Carter. And thank you, everyone who's watching. I want to thank our brother, Minister Sharrieff, for taking time out of his busy schedule. That may Allah continue to bless you and your family and the believers. We thank Allah for you and the sacrifices that you made, the sacrifices of your family, and the sacrifices of the laborers and, whoever, your staff, whoever has helped you along this journey. That 28 years later, we could be sitting here talking about the Million Man March and its value and its importance, and long live the spirit of the Million Man March. Thank you all who are watching. I can't wait to put this on YouTube. I love you, Dad.
Can I say something?
Yes, sir.
I want to say this to my son, Joshua. He works hard. He's in school. And he have a lot of followers. So I'm saying to all you followers out there that you see this young man not robbing nobody, ain't stealing. You see him doing a very noble thing. Show your support for a young man to keep encouraging him to get many other young men by sending some money, bottom line, to his Cash App. Right now, not tomorrow, because you'll forget. Send it now and show your love. That's how we keep it going, by the grace of God. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, Dad. Minister Jamil says to have a believing family is a huge blessing. Excellent. And shout out to Leonard. We saw him. Shout out to Leonard and his family, children, and Camilla Khan. Everybody's just, the family is growing. Brother Cedric says that's right. This is literally the most I've ever heard Brother Cedric say.
That's my man.
Thank you, Brother Minister, for always looking out for the little men. Those tapes we used to get used to help us stay on the same page. And thank you, Brother Cedric. It's Cash App, the People's Podcast. But I want to thank you, everyone who's watching. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, family.
Islam, family.
And thank you all for watching. Can't wait to put this on YouTube.